In the previous lecture, we started on margin and padding part 1. In this lecture, we're going to continue with margin and padding part 2, but I'm going to be focusing on padding. Okay, so basically the padding works the same as the margin, but instead of adding space outside the borders, we'll be affecting the areas inside the border. And of course, the value of auto won't work on the padding. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of the span element here. And I'm gonna come to the CSS file, and I'm gonna get rid of everything except the borders. Okay, we're gonna start fresh. Okay. Now, so I'm gonna start by adding a padding to the top side. So for that, we do the same thing, padding top, and I'm gonna add 50 pixels. Save it and check it out, and you can see a space has been added inside the element. Okay, now let's do the right side. But in order to tell about the right side, I'm gonna just copy and paste the text. I don't know, like 5 times or 6 times. And then let's see if it's enough. Yes, it is enough. Now, let's target the right side, padding, right. And I'm gonna add 200 pixels. Save it, refresh, and you can see a space of 200 pixels has been added to the right side. Okay, again, let's do now the bottom one, the bottom side. And I'm gonna add, I don't know, 200 pixels. Save it, check it out, and 200 pixels has been added to the bottom side. Now, let's do the left, and I'm gonna do 100 pixels. Okay. Now, we can do the same thing as we did with the margin. I'm gonna comment this out. And I'm just gonna type the shorthand code, which is padding. And the same rules from the margin applies to the padding. So I'm gonna add even spaces to all sides. So I'm gonna do 200 pixels. Refresh. Okay, you can see those 200 pixels there on each side. And remember, when it's one value, that means that a 200 pixels will be added to all sides. Now, if we add another value of, let's say, 50 pixels, now the first value targets the top and bottom, and the second value targets the right and left. Let's save it. Check it out. Okay, 500 to the right and left, and 200 to the top and bottom. And let's add another value here. Let's say 100 pixels. If we add a third value, then the first one will be again top, and the second value will be for right and left, and the third value will be for bottom. Okay, let's save it, refresh. There it is. A space of 100 pixels has been added to the bottom. Okay, and let's do one more. Let's do 50 pixels, and that will be just for the left now, left side. And there it is, only 50 pixels. And if we want to, let's say, just remove, I don't know, the space on the right side, we can just do 0, and there it is. There's a space, okay, but it's just because that's how the browser breaks the sentence, okay. Now, and the same thing, if we want to remove to the bottom one, we can just leave it at 0, and you can still add the px if you want, okay, but it'll work, okay. And now the bottom one, no, excuse me, that's on the left. Yeah, that's on the left. So there's no space on the left side. And you can also do just like this to remove all spaces. Okay, that is it for this lecture. We're done with the margin and padding part 2. In the next lecture, we're going to look at the border.